was like, Mama, I was like, you okay? And she goes, I need to get up now. I was like, no, what do you mean that you can't get up? I was like, you have to stay let down, like you can't get up. I don't think your legs are strong enough. She was like, no, Millie, I need to get up, I need to get ready. And I was like, get ready for what? She was like, I need to get ready for work. And she starts moving her legs to like trying to get up. And I remember I just like grabbed her hands and I was like, Mama, look at me. I was like, do you trust me? And she was like, even though she was sleepwalking, it was so pure. And she was like, I said to her, I was like, Mama, do you trust me? And she looked at me and she was like, yeah. I was like, don't move. I was like, please don't try and get up. I was like, you can't. And she was like, why not? I was like, because your legs aren't strong enough. You're not strong enough. She went, oh. And she just looked so sad. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. And she just went back to sleep. It's just so weird how the roles like reverse so quick. Growing up, it was just always me and my mom. Like I'm an only child. My dad left when I was like 4, and then a few years later my mum met my stepdad Stuart, who is the most amazing guy, the most incredible guy. That whole time it was just me and my mum, like our whole lives, and she was like my hero growing up, and it was always me going to her for advice and her like helping me out and caring for me. And the way that the roles just flipped towards the end, and it was me like telling my mum that she's not strong enough to walk, and she's just relying on me. Cancer is a bitch. The things that it did to my mom are actually disgusting. Like the shit that she went through in that week because of that, like it's actually disgusting. Like no one should have to go through that, especially not my mom. Like she genuinely was like the purest soul, and she was so kind and just so loving. But she wasn't boring. Like she'd make inappropriate jokes all the time, and she'd just be silly and stupid, and she loved me even though I was an absolute weirdo. Like we'd go on holidays and I'd get her like period pads, or like her like wee pads that are like for like women that are a bit older, because my mom was quite old. She had me when she was like 44, and I was getting her period pads and like throwing them and like sticking them to the ceiling and stuff. And then my mom was like a little bit drunk on holiday, and then she was just like, what are you doing? And then I remember that night we were on holiday, I just realized how easy she was gonna be to play with because she was a bit drunk, and I was like 11, bearing in mind. And then I get my phone out and pretend to call Childline on my mom, and I'm like, Childline, my mom's really drunk and I'm on holiday and I feel really unsafe. And she thought I was actually on the phone with them, and she was like laughing at first, and she was like, Millie, put the phone down. She's like, put the phone down. And I was like, are you serious? Like you think I'm actually calling Childline? We always just went on a holiday, us two. We went to so many random places. I said this to her like in the last few days, but I was just like, I'm sorry that every time we went on a holiday I was on my phone all the time. Like I was like 14, and we'd literally go out for a drink, just me and my mum, and I'd just be sat there on my phone with my earphones in like this on my phone 24/7. I remember she said to me, she was like, Millie, can you socialize a little bit? And I was like, Mum, I'm texting my friends. And then she just literally, she was like, okay then, fair enough. Like she didn't take it off me or anything. She was literally like, as long as I was happy and having fun. She just literally lived her whole life for me. So even though I look back on that final week and it was so awful to see her like that, I'm glad that I was there to like care for her, because like she saw me into the world, so I'm gonna make sure I see her out. But yeah, on the last night, like I'm not gonna go into too many details. I always do that, like I'm telling a story and I like go into every single little detail. But she started coughing at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and then normally it'd clear up a little bit, but it was just this rattle every time she breathed in and out. It was like a really, really loud rattle. We were sat by her side holding her hands because it seemed like she was getting close to dying at that point. We were like, in case she just dies like any second, like we want to be there. All of her energy was going into her breathing, and it seemed exhausting. All she needed to do was cough, but she didn't have the energy to cough. Like it got to a point where she'd like too weak to do anything, too weak to swallow, too weak to cough. That rattle, like I googled it that night and the name of it was death rattle, and I saw that and I was like, shit, like we're really getting close now. But she said it wasn't painful. That's the weird thing. Like I remember saying, I was like, are you in pain? And she was like, and she was still breathing like it was the biggest pain in the world, but she was like, no. She just shook her head, and I was like, is it just annoying breathing? And she was like, but my mum refused to let go. She just wouldn't let go, because the thing is like about it all, like the sad thing is that she just didn't want to go. Like she had so much to live for and so much she wanted to see. Sorry, my camera died. She said she was gonna fight until the end, and she really did. Like, she's just genuinely like the strongest person that I know, and like how she dealt with the whole thing as well. And then at like 11:15, I don't want to go into details about how, because it's just awful, but we could tell it was really near the end. And that whole night I didn't leave her side, neither did Stuart really. We spoke about memories with her. I thanked her for everything that she's done for me and just being like the best mom I could have ever asked for. And she really did support me no matter what. And I made a promise with her that night that I was gonna make her so proud. And even though she was so weak, she got that energy to squeeze my hand. And I was like, confirmed. I was there the moment that she passed as well, holding her hand and then refusing to let go for like an hour. It wasn't even scary because it was just still her. And even though it hurts so much that she's gone, and it hurts so much that she's not gonna see me get married or have kids, and I know that really upset her as well. Even though physically she's not gonna be here to see all that, I so strongly believe that she's in a higher dimension now that she would have called heaven. I feel like her energy is just behind me right now, and she's here like behind me. I feel like we're a team now, and I believe it so strongly that it almost takes away a lot of my sadness, because I do genuinely think that she's still here. Something that she got me last Christmas: angels from above watch over those who we love. And I remember in the final few days I was speaking to her, and I told her to not be scared of death because she's still gonna be here watching over me. And she said, she was like, I will still be here watching over you. If she would have had any choice of what to do in that higher dimension, she'll be behind me, guiding me and just watching everything that I do. Hopefully not everything though, that's a little bit uncomfortable. She is free from her pain now. No one deserves to live how she did in her final week. I genuinely just want to thank her for so much, because she genuinely was the most unreal mom I could have ever asked for. Raised me in such an amazing, incredible way with nothing but love. Even going through all of her drawers and stuff after she passed, like, she had so many keepsakes of when I was younger. One time I was in loads of trouble and I wrote her out a note. I'll insert a picture on the screen here, because I used to forget everything in school. Like, I'd leave behind so much stuff, and I left my mum's bag once and I left it in school, and she was so mad at me, and I felt really upset that she was so mad at me, because I hated being in an argument with my mum, and I couldn't go to bed like arguing with her in case something happened in the night. I always remember that being a thing. But she felt the same way as well. It was just whoever had come to the other person first, and I gave it to her, and I remember she came into my room and just gave me a big hug like before the end of the night. But she kept that letter, and I forgot that it had happened. I just found it in her drawer, and I was like, oh. But this is to anyone else that's also lost a family member, or like a parent, especially a parent. I mean, everyone has their own beliefs, but I really strongly believe that they are still here, and they're still behind us, and they're guiding us and putting us on the right path. And it's almost a stronger connection that way, because you're with them 24/7. And even though it might not be physical, you might not be able to see or touch it, it doesn't mean that it's not real. Like, you can't see or feel Wi-Fi. I still feel her love, and it gives me comfort knowing that such a huge part of her is still inside me, and that is how she's not gone. Our connection was too strong to not see her again. But yeah, that's my life update. Bye bye. I will see you soon.